workshop was an introductory workshop to cannabis for youth ages 13 to 18. So this is really an opening exercise to help youth get more comfortable with talking about cannabis, to share openly about their ideas, what they might be concerned about, what they might be excited about.
I find youth voices important because they're the next generation, and if they know and learn it now, then maybe they can help in the future.
I feel there is a presence of cannabis in my community, but it's not overtaking my community.
Some of it is good for you, but some of it is also has an effect on like your brain and your thinking and your decisions.
Well, I know my uncle has back pains, and I was wondering like what different possibilities are for him.
The things that surprise me is the addiction part, where youth are more addicted. I didn't know that part, but I can actually see it once I knew it, because I can see it in other youth.
So you could read on the screen there, approximately 1 in 10 adults who use cannabis daily will develop a cannabis use disorder. But that's different when you switch to youth. And then we know that people who have experienced traumatic events in their lives are also more likely to develop mental health and addictions challenges. And we know that just through colonization and the different traumas that has brought, we know that we are more susceptible to addictions and mental health challenges. So this stat, I think this is more like a mainstream stat. It's not specific to First Nation youth, but this next slide is. So this next slide is from the Youth Solvent Abuse programs. So this is mental health and addictions programs from across Canada for youth. They are specific to youth. There's 13 of them across Canada. And they use a system, it's called the Addictions Management Information System, so that's how we get all these stats. So we know that at the time of entry, the youth from across Canada, their number one substance is tobacco, followed by alcohol, and very, very closely followed by cannabis. You can see that 85% of the youth that are actually entering into these treatment facilities are using cannabis. So these are youth ages 13 to 18 across Canada. Talking to the youth before they develop habits, before they develop addictions, before they develop any challenges related to cannabis is ideal. With cannabis, there's a lot of misinformation. So being able to bring facts backed by medical professionals to the youth, letting them know that yes, there are medical uses for cannabis in certain situations. However, these are going to be different for everybody, and that the misuse of cannabis can also lead to addictions and mental health challenges. I think that's one of the things that really stuck out with the youth today. There's a common misconception that I hear that cannabis is a wonder drug. It's going to cure everything. We just don't know it yet. There isn't a single medication out there that does that. So this is one of my main concerns. I want to help youth understand that, yeah, there are benefits, but there are also potential consequences as well. So the youth voice is very important because this is something that's going to affect them long term. So the decisions made by the leadership based on the input that the youth and the adults and the general community provide, it's going to shape what cannabis looks like in Whitefish River for the future. And I think it's really important to hear the youth voice because they're going to be around long enough to feel the impacts of whatever we decide.
It worries me in a way because I guess the youth is the next generation, and if there's more addictions, and then how are we going to impact the newer generations? And especially with legalizing it now, because now it's like telling the youth and like other generations that like it's okay to do it, but sometimes it's not.